Sure enough, I was looking at the wrong clock again. I got to set the Jeep clock ahead a couple minutes again. That's the only flaw I really have with this Jeep is the fact the clock in it does slowly loses a minute or so every couple weeks until finally, if I don't look up, it'll be up to 4 or 5 minutes behind. like, but all aboard the speculation train. Everybody's still riding on this thing with Paul McGann and blah 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 this and I remember like a couple of years before she came back, see people were saying that, Catherine Tate was at something and blah blah, and yeah, no one else on the planet happened to catch a photo of her. Turns out she wasn't. She didn't come back until the tenant thing happened, like 2 or 3 years later. But it was like a ways back, and now they're, the Paul McGann thing's running around like crazy. Now, did anyone ever find out what that's for? Because I have not heard a thing. Oh. So, another slow Thursday. Been watching Welcome to Derry, and I don't know what everybody's complaining about on that show. It is genuinely creepy. It is genuinely scary. And yes, it does not really interfere with any of the other stuff that we've picked up in the It movie, the novel, or the remake. If anything, it is adding on to the lore a bit. Let me see. What else? Oh, we got some folks coming in. Yeah, they say Paul McGann's been spotted filming, but you got to remember what? Is it something for November 23rd? Is it something for what do you call it? Or is it just something for a Blu-ray or a DVD rollout? Remember, Christmas special ain't till next year. So I highly doubt it's for that, because they're not going to start shooting on that for a while. It could be. I agree with Who's Books. I would say it's for a Blu-ray set for the wilderness years. I know, and Louise Jameson, that lady just never stops. Yeah, someone just brought up Leela. She's still, on and off the stage and various other things, even, to this day. I was going to try to have her on once, but she didn't really trust computers, and I did not have the proper gear to do a phone interview. And so buried within this phone, or the last phone somewhere, I might still have her phone number. But like I said, I've never called it or anything like that because I'm not that kind of weirdo. I'm sorry. Heck, I had Simon Fisher Becker's on here if I remember right. I know, it's still sad to think Simon's no longer with us. Okay, yeah, Fallout London, from all the playthroughs I've seen, there are just a few minor little things here and there, but other than that, I heard it was done brilliantly. These guys spent years on that. And it doesn't really tie to Vault-Tec, of course. It ties to something else, I believe. Like I said, I've just watched a few clips of it here and there, various gameplays on it. But like I said, it's funny how the first major upgrade they had for Fallout 4 came out like a few days before Fallout London was due to come out, and it just happened to screw up the mod that you needed to do Fallout London with. And now they've run out that anniversary edition and screwed things up even worse. It's like, I don't know. We're going to probably watch the Stranger Things thing, but oh man, some of these kids are already like, like I said, Millie Bobby Brown. Oh, I feel sorry for that girl. Child celebrity, already married, adopted a kid. Yeah, that's going to end well. Let me see what else we got going on. Of course, the new season of Fallout coming in less than a month. That's December 17th. And I'm loving how all the New Vegas fans are already shitting themselves because it'll screw up the ending I picked with my character. I'm not kidding. I sat or watched this one video where there's this guy literally going on and on about, well, if, most people eliminated that particular character in their playthrough. This is going to screw with it. I'm like, it's the TV show. You honestly think they give a good, goddamn about how you finished a game over a decade ago? They're taking the lore. They're taking a character that everybody loves, Mr. House, if you don't know the name, and they're putting him on the screen. They even changed actors because he did get a brief cameo, Mr. House, towards the end of Series 1. And like I said, I've never played New Vegas, but I've watched enough playthroughs. I've read up on the lore for it that I've never met Nicola, but like I said, from what I've seen I've been following her, I think, on Instagram, and I think I think it was X she was on for a while. I don't think anybody's on X anymore. I kind of don't blame them. But, but, as I said before, it's just amazing to me how everybody's shitting on it. Yeah, they played the one voice. I believe that's going to turn out to be a super mutant in the season 2, the second trailer. And like I said, I'd love it to turn out they're finally bringing the super mutants in. And it did sound like Ron Perlman's voice. Does anyone think why would there be any missing episode announcements this weekend? All right, here's the thing. If they're going to do an announcement like that, they're going to probably wait till the 23rd. They'll roll it out on Doctor Who's birthday, which isn't that far from now. Kel, what is today's date? I forgot already. Today's the 20th, so you're right. It may be over the weekend. Maybe because they'll save it for the birthday, more than likely. Yeah, Tom Baker should have been knighted a long time ago. Okay, I'm glad he got the MBE. But then again, look at some of the other names that got knighted. One in particular. You know which one I'm thinking about, and I won't say the name. Okay. Also, having Ron Perlman there would be nice because he narrated a lot of the games. He narrated the openers, I think, for a couple of them, and I think he did the character of the first Overseer in Fallout 1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the 23rd is coming up so fast. I just realized today is the 20th. I don't keep an eye on the date anymore. This year's going too quickly. God, I got the windows cracked in this thing. Oh, no wonder. I got the heater on. Okay. Well, like I said, we don't know even if they have recovered missing episodes, or if they have. Well, we know they've been in negotiations, that they've allegedly, found multiple people who do have them, but we don't know which ones. if there are any. Like I said, we'll find out. Why does the woman's sea devil look like she's half human? I do not know. That's the part of it I can't figure out. Oh, look, we suddenly got we're going to have, Romeo and Juliet land in the sea. The Little Mermaid, splash, meets unit. That's what worries me about that whole thing. Also, he was that's right, he did the voice of the newscaster at the beginning of Fallout 4, if I remember right, also. Ron Perlman. Fish people are making babies with mankind. Oh, goodness gracious. I can see that now. I got this little kid. He's a bit of a cod. I get it. I'm sorry, Ronald, but I'm not that stupid. Why don't you just go and ask me to look for Michael Hunt for you while you're at it? Or Eileen Ulick. Or quite a few of others. Yeah, right. Good job. Or Phil McCracken. I was so glad William Russell, someone just brought him up, was able to get, back on the show. Even that's all I wanted. Even if it was just for that short little scene. That tiny little bit, I love the fact they had a William Russell back as Ian just for that tiny little scene in Power of the Doctor. That episode that beat the shit out of every other anniversary episode they've tried, written by Chris Chibnall. That evil guy that was going to kill the show? Chris Chibnall. Ugh. Well, I'm not sure what was going on around that time. They didn't have Susan back, but I liked the Power of the Doctor story. It was a good story. It brought the old companions and the classic Doctors back in a way that made sense. It wasn't just an outright, we're going to throw everybody in for nostalgia value. But no, they couldn't do that for Dump of the Doctor, Era of the Zygons, or whatever they call that pile of crap for the 50th. Oh, that's what. And like I said, as much as I love John Hurt and I love the War Doctor, it should have been Paul McGann. They could have saved a lot of, but no, they wanted a scene chewer to help sell movie theater tickets. Yeah, that thing they put out on the 50th. I'm like, my God, I could have eaten a. Oh God, I've got to say this again because I've said it a billion times before, but it's still true. I could eat a can of alphabet soup and shit out a better script than Day of the Doctor. I'm sorry. And yet everybody, the 8th anniversary special, and everybody treated it like it was the grand criminal crime. They turned the Zygons into imbeciles. I know, that's why I can't figure out why everybody's praising that 60th anniversary thing with David Tennant, those specials, and I'm like, they were okay, but they were not that good. To be honest with you, like I said, I expected a lot more from RTD given the stuff he brought us in the past. but he completely dropped the ball. Planet Baldus today. Let's take a look. Tonight on Baldus. Notice how the cracks right there, that beautiful little mountain range. Oh, wait a minute. We got volcanic activity. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the giggle, like I said, it was okay. And I love Neil Patrick Harris because the guy's a damn good actor. But once again, musical number. I haven't checked the weather report for today, but oh crap, I'm way over. I got to get going. I just looked at the time. So please be kind, be calm, be safe. I got to get inside and get to work. So please take care of yourselves out there. And we'll catch you all tomorrow morning. Oh,